George Clooney and his wife Amal broke down in tears as they faced their son Alexander's dangerous battle with asthma, worsened by the global pandemic. Even their sprawling mansion couldn't shield them from the relentless pain of watching their child struggle. Tune in as their fight against the odds takes a devastating turn. The Clooneys' unseen struggles. George Clooney has always been candid when it matters, and this was no exception. Let's rewind a bit to when this all came to light. Back in December 2020, he spilled the beans about Alexander, their then 3-year-old, having asthma. Now, asthma by itself is tough enough for any kid, but add a global pandemic with a virus that messes with the respiratory system, it's like walking a tightrope over a pit of fire. The Clooneys, who are famously private about their family, couldn't keep the anxiety under wraps anymore. But what they chose to do next, an unexpected, life-altering decision, would leave everyone stunned. Imagine having to parent through all that. The Clooneys weren't just regular worried parents, they were full-on DEFCON 1. They built a fortress of safety around their kids, doing everything short of bubble-wrapping them for good measure. Sure, their massive house made it easier to stay locked down. You're not bumping into walls in a mansion, but even with all their resources, the emotional toll was crushing. It doesn't matter how big your house is. Fear for your child doesn't respect square footage. Asthma is no joke. It's this silent, ever-present issue that can turn on you without warning. For Alexander, it meant constantly managing triggers, medications, and health precautions. For his parents, it meant walking on eggshells. And yet they tried to keep life as normal as possible for their kids. Amal's a powerhouse lawyer. He's still out there making movies and pranking his friends, but at the end of the day, their most important roles are mom and dad. This whole ordeal, as awful as it is, has somehow brought them even closer. There's something about staring down a common enemy like your child's chronic illness that makes you dig deep as a team. He has called Amal the backbone of their family more times than anyone can count, and it's clear why. The way they've handled this, balancing fear, hope, and a ton of sleepless nights, shows the kind of grit that makes even Hollywood glitter feel dull by comparison. But let's not act like it's all doom and gloom in the Clooney household. Somehow they've kept humor alive in their home. Their twins, Alexander and Ella, are already multilingual, casually flipping between Italian and French like it's no big deal. Meanwhile, he, who's stuck being monolingual, jokes that the kids are probably plotting against him in a language he doesn't understand. And honestly, they probably are. Add to that Alexander's budding prankster streak, which seems to be a direct inheritance from his dad, and you've got a household that's managing to find laughter even when things feel impossibly heavy. But don't let the laughs fool you into thinking they've got it all figured out. Asthma is relentless. It doesn't give you days off, and the worry never fully goes away. The Clooneys are just like any parents facing a chronic illness in the family. Tired, stressed, and sometimes on the verge of tears. The difference? They've got cameras in their faces and millions of people who expect them to always be on. Here's what's so raw and real about this whole thing. Their story isn't some fairy tale wrapped in a neat bow. It's messy and human. It's a reminder that no amount of money or fame can shield you from the gut-wrenching parts of life. They're not perfect parents. They're just parents. Fiercely loving, trying their best, and crying when no one's looking. And if that doesn't make them relatable, I don't know what does. They've shown that it's okay to be vulnerable, to admit when things are hard, and to lean on each other when the world feels like it's falling apart. They've turned what could have been a breaking point into a way to strengthen their bond, and that's a lesson anyone, celebrity or not, can take to heart. Sure, it's easy to look at them and think, must be nice to face life's challenges from a mansion. But pain doesn't care about your zip code, neither does love. And the Clooneys have shown that no matter how glamorous your life looks on the outside, it's what's happening inside your home and your heart that truly defines you. Think about the logistics involved in keeping a child with asthma safe during a pandemic. Every trip outside, whether for groceries or essentials, becomes a calculated risk. Masks, sanitizers, and distancing measures aren't optional. They're survival tools. And for a family in the public eye, avoiding exposure takes on another layer of difficulty. Beyond the physical precautions, there's the mental strain. How do you explain to a young child that they can't play with friends or run around outside like they used to? How do you keep their spirits up when the world feels so restricted? For the Clooneys, this likely meant coming up with endless creative activities to keep the twins entertained. From movie nights to makeshift indoor games, they undoubtedly pulled out all the stops to ensure their kids didn't feel the weight of the pandemic. It's worth noting how their parenting dynamic might have shifted during this time. He, known for his playful side, probably learned even harder into humor and fun to balance out the seriousness of the situation. Meanwhile, Amal, with her razor-sharp intellect and calm demeanor, likely became the family's anchor, ensuring that every decision was measured and deliberate. Together, they created a sense of stability in a world that felt anything but stable. Asthma management itself is no small feat. It's not just about carrying an inhaler, it's about identifying and avoiding triggers, monitoring symptoms, and knowing when to seek medical help. For the Clooneys, this meant becoming experts in a condition they probably hadn't given much thought to before Alexander's diagnosis. It also meant working closely with doctors and healthcare professionals to develop a comprehensive care plan for their son. The pandemic added another layer of complexity to this. Regular checkups and doctor visits likely became a nerve-wracking ordeal. Telemedicine might have offered some relief, but there's no substitute for in-person evaluations when it comes to managing a chronic condition. The stress of balancing necessary medical care with the risks of exposure must have been immense. The Clooneys continued to prioritize their children's happiness and development. Their emphasis on education and multilingualism is a testament to their commitment to giving Alexander and Ella a well-rounded upbringing. Learning new languages isn't just a fun skill, it's a way to connect with different cultures and perspectives. For a family as globally minded as the Clooneys, this focus makes perfect sense. These moments hinted at a resilience that would carry them forward. Alexander Clooney's unique path. The Clooneys' parenting style is a blend of discipline, love, and encouragement. Amal, with her meticulous attention to detail, ensures the twins have a structured routine, while George injects spontaneity and humor into their lives. This balance has worked well so far, but their son's rapid development is forcing them to reevaluate their approach. For instance, they've introduced a more individualized approach to parenting the twins. While Ella thrives with gentle encouragement and quiet activities, their son needs outlets for his energy and intellect. Whether it's enrolling him in advanced language classes or setting up science experiments at home, they're constantly adapting to keep up with his needs. Raising a child like this comes with its own set of challenges, especially when you're in the public eye. George and Amal are keenly aware of the scrutiny their family faces. They've taken steps to shield their children from the media, but it's not always easy. Paparazzi have captured moments of their family outings, and tabloids frequently speculate about their parenting choices. This constant attention adds pressure to an already demanding situation. Amal's background in law has been instrumental in navigating privacy concerns, but it's a battle they fight every day. They're determined to give their children as normal a childhood as possible, even if their version of normal looks vastly different from most families. Despite the challenges, George and Amal are finding joy in the chaos. Their shared sense of humor has been a lifeline, helping them navigate the ups and downs of parenting. George often recounts funny anecdotes about the twins, like the time their son tried to fix a broken lamp with peanut butter. These moments of levity remind them why it's all worth it. They've also found solace in their shared commitment to philanthropy. Working together on their foundation has given them a sense of purpose beyond their immediate family. It's a reminder of the values they want to pass on to their children: compassion, resilience, and a desire to make the world a better place. As they move forward, George and Amal are embracing the unpredictability of parenthood. They know there will be more surprises, more challenges, and more moments that leave them questioning everything. But they're also confident in their ability to face it all together. For the Clooneys, it's not about being perfect parents, it's about being present, adaptable, and deeply committed to their family. And while their son's transformation has brought its share of challenges, it's also been a source of growth and inspiration for the entire family. It's a journey that's far from over, and if there's one thing the Clooneys have proven, it's that they're up for the adventure. Born in 2017, the twins were thrust into the spotlight simply for being born. That's not hyperbole. The tabloids couldn't wait to splash their names across headlines. But George and Amal aren't exactly the show-off the kids on Instagram kind of parents. They've fought tooth and nail to keep the paparazzi at bay, going as far as slamming legal hammers on anyone trying to snap unauthorized photos of their kids. For a while it worked, but fame doesn't just take a back seat because you asked nicely. The Clooneys' battle for privacy has been a continuous uphill climb, underscoring just how challenging it is to shield children from the glare of the spotlight in an era where the internet never sleeps. Then there's Ella, the quieter twin. She's the brainy one, always curious, always observing. Amal's been vocal about how proud she is of Ella's natural knack for problem solving and her love of learning. But let's not paint her as the perfect little angel. She's a kid, and kids are messy and unpredictable. Still, her quieter personality often leaves her out of the limelight, which honestly might be a blessing in disguise. Ella's intellectual inclinations set her apart in a household already brimming with talent and ambition. Amal's influence on Ella's development is evident, with the young girl's curiosity and focus reflecting her mother's own passion for meaningful causes. As their son grows, his natural humor and charm are undeniable. But here's where things get sticky. He's starting to notice the weight of his last name. Fame might seem glamorous, but to a kid it's just confusing. Understanding why the world knows who you are and how to deal with that attention is an enormous task for any child, let alone one growing up in such a unique spotlight. And while his humor might be a coping mechanism now, it's a question of how that evolves as he matures. His journey will likely include navigating identity questions that stem from being forever linked to an iconic figure. The Clooneys' parenting style is all about values. They're big on empathy, responsibility, and humility, the kind of stuff that'll hopefully help their children navigate their weird, high-profile lives. Family history is a big topic at the Clooney dinner table. George loves telling stories about his dad, Nick Clooney, and how integrity matters more than fame or fortune. It's the kind of grounding influence that might just give these kids a fighting chance at staying level-headed. For the Clooneys, parenting isn't just about providing. It's about imparting a moral compass that can guide their children in an often chaotic world. But let's not sugarcoat it. The Clooney kids will always carry the label of celebrity offspring. That's a tag with its own baggage. Expectations, assumptions, and scrutiny will follow them like shadows. As they grow older, those challenges are only going to get more complex. Whether they're dealing with classmates who know too much about their family or navigating social media, the spotlight is a constant presence. The family's ability to address these challenges head-on will play a significant role in shaping their children's future. As the twins grow, the Clooneys focus on teaching values and guiding them through a complicated world. Education, values, and creative freedom. One of the more unique ways the Clooneys are preparing their children for the world is through education. The twins attend an international school which focuses on diversity and cultural awareness. This aligns perfectly with Amal's work in international law and George's advocacy for global humanitarian causes. It's not just about academics, it's about giving them a global perspective. The Clooneys are making sure their kids are exposed to different viewpoints and experiences, something that might help them navigate the complexities of their identities. The school's emphasis on inclusivity and understanding mirrors the values the Clooneys strive to instill at home. At home, creativity is heavily encouraged. Their son's love for humor and performance finds its outlet in family gatherings and school plays. He's often the center of attention, making everyone laugh with his natural comedic timing. George sees a lot of himself in him, but has made it clear that he doesn't want his son to feel pressured to follow in his footsteps. "It's his choice," George has said. "We want him to find his own path." This commitment to fostering individuality underscores the Clooneys' dedication to letting their children define their own futures. Ella, on the other hand, is diving into intellectual pursuits. Inspired by Amal's work, she's already showing an interest in issues like environmental sustainability. Amal has mentioned how proud she is of Ella's curiosity and her drive to learn about topics that matter. Whether it's reading books or asking big questions about the world, Ella's inquisitive nature is nurtured every step of the way. The Clooneys' encouragement of these pursuits highlights their belief in empowering their children through education and curiosity. The Clooneys have also taken steps to instill a sense of responsibility in their children. Chores, for instance, are non-negotiable in their household. Despite their wealth and fame, George and Amal are determined not to let their kids grow up with an inflated sense of entitlement. They're taught to value hard work and understand the importance of giving back. Family discussions often touch on issues like charity and social justice, giving their children a sense of purpose beyond their privileged lives. By grounding their children in these principles, the Clooneys hope to prepare them for a world that's both demanding and complex. However, even with these proactive measures, the Clooneys know they can't shield their kids from everything. The twins are growing up in an era where social media magnifies everything. From carefully curated images to ruthless online trolls, the digital age adds a layer of complexity that previous generations didn't have to deal with. It's one thing to avoid the paparazzi, it's another to navigate the relentless world of likes, comments, and viral posts. The Clooneys' awareness of these challenges underscores their efforts to equip their children with the tools they'll need to thrive in an increasingly connected world. As their children approach their teenage years, the challenges will only grow. George and Amal are aware that the strategies they use now might need to evolve. Conversations about fame, identity, and responsibility are already becoming more nuanced. It's not about keeping the kids in a bubble, it's about preparing them for a world that will always have its eyes on them. The Clooneys' willingness to adapt their approach demonstrates their commitment to ensuring their children's well-being remains a top priority. Despite these hurdles, the Clooneys remain optimistic. They've built a foundation of love, support, and strong values, which they hope will guide their kids as they navigate the unique pressures of their lives. The world will undoubtedly continue to watch as their children grow. Their journey will be shaped by a mix of privilege and challenges. But with parents like George and Amal at the helm, they're as prepared as anyone can be for the road ahead. Adding to this, the Clooneys' dedication to philanthropic efforts has begun to influence their children. George and Amal frequently involve their children in discussions about the importance of helping others, whether through direct action or advocacy. These conversations often take place during family dinners, where they discuss global issues in a way that's accessible for the kids. Amal, with her extensive background in human rights law, often shares stories about her work, subtly instilling values of justice and equality in their young minds. These moments, though small, create a foundation for the twins to understand the impact they can have on the world around them. Their international school plays a key role in this journey as well. The diverse environment exposes the twins to cultures and traditions vastly different from their own. This exposure fosters empathy and broadens their perspectives, allowing them to appreciate the complexity of the world. The Clooneys' decision to prioritize this kind of education reflects their hope that their children will grow into well-rounded individuals capable of making thoughtful contributions to society. Another significant aspect of the Clooneys' parenting is their emphasis on creativity. Whether it's their son's budding interest in acting or Ella's love of writing, the family fosters these pursuits with enthusiasm. They've transformed a corner of their home into a creative space filled with art supplies, books, and tools for exploration. This sanctuary encourages the twins to experiment and dream, providing an outlet for their imaginations in a way that feels organic and unpressured. As they grow, the children are beginning to take on small but meaningful roles in the family's charitable initiatives. Whether it's helping to pack supplies for a local drive or attending low-key events, the twins are gradually learning the importance of giving back. George and Amal hope these experiences will not only teach their children about responsibility, but also help them build resilience against the superficial allure of fame and materialism. Looking to the future, the Clooneys recognize that their parenting journey will continue to evolve. They've already begun to introduce conversations about self-awareness and mindfulness, aiming to equip their children with tools to handle stress and maintain mental well-being. These practices, combined with the strong familial bonds they've cultivated, provide a solid framework for their children as they navigate the complexities of growing up in the public eye. The Clooneys' approach to parenting is a testament to their commitment to raising compassionate, grounded, and capable individuals. While the world watches and speculates, George and Amal remain steadfast in their belief that love, empathy, and a strong moral foundation are the keys to helping their children thrive. The story of their children is not just about growing up famous, it's about growing into themselves, ready to embrace both the challenges and opportunities that come their way. Is genius in children a gift or a burden that parents unintentionally magnify? Leave your opinion in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.